Hello everybody. I would like to demonstrate in this video what we talked about at the second chapter, talking about classes and objects. Classes and objects, as we discussed in the class, you need to think of the attributes or the properties of the class you're gonna choose. And of course, create an object. You're going to create the object in another file which include main. Remember, the class, the first class, it doesn't have main, but the test class, it has the main. In the class, we wrote program about the rectangle, and there's a code within your lectures talk about points, which we're going to discuss it hopefully later on. What I'm going to do now, I would like to demonstrate how to write a class. And let's take an example. As we say, classes, it could be anything. Cars, somebody gave me cars last time, books, persons, students, right? I'm going to choose one of them. Let's take students, for instance. I would like to create a class of students. So in here, first, here, right? I need to click in here, create class. Let's call the class called a student. It'll be very nice to have the class name as a capital letter. Start with capital to make it like professional here. Now you need to think, and as we discussed in the class, students, what are the properties of students? For instance, name as name. The second one, I'm gonna just list them, then I'm gonna put the data types and so on. Age, for instance. Gender. ID. Contact number. Contact number. What else? Some of you last time mentioned major, for instance. Major, here it is. So assume these are the attributes we're going to use. So you take name, age, gender, ID, contact number, and so on. So now you look on the types of the data. So name, for instance, of course, is string. Remember, string is capital S. String, here it is. And don't forget, you need a semicolon at the end. Here it is. Age. Age is an integer. Int, age, and don't forget the semicolon again. Gender. Gender, usually they use M for male and F for female. So it's only a single letter. In that case, we can say it's a char. Gender is char. And don't forget semicolon. ID. The ID of students is an integer. They will say is integer. Or we can say long if you want. Just in case integer is a small, right? You can use long. Contact number. Contact number, some of you probably thinks is an integer. Could be an integer. But remember, to write a contact number, let me just write an examples here. To write a contact number, assume a number is something like 971 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, something like that. Right, that looks like some of you probably think it's an integer. Remember, this is the plus sign. So the plus sign, it needs to be as a string because this is a character. So what would I put here? String, contact number, and it is. And of course, major could be IT, information technology, computer engineering, and so on. So of course, that is a string as well. Don't forget, a string is capital S, not small s. Major, and of course, don't forget the semicolons here. Now, we define the properties of the class student. What do we need to do now? The first thing you need to do is create the constructor. And the constructor is a method within the class. It has the same name as the class name. And there are two constructors. Remember, there are two constructors. One is the default, the empty one. And one, no, it's not, with data, with parameters. So the default, here it is. You can put student. Sorry. Here it is. Empty. And this one empty as well. Here it is. Right? Can you see it? It's empty. This is student. This is called the default constructor. If I want to create object with no data at the beginning in it. The second one is the constructor with data. So I would call it student. Here it is. Remember, the one with the data, whatever you have here, can you see it? Whatever you have this here, you have to make sure if there are only two, you put 2. They are here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is 6 here. So you have to make sure you put 6 parameters with the same data type. So I can put, for instance, string n for name, int a, like for age, and then char g. Let me say I'm just using these just to refer to the gender, and int I, like for the ID. And then the contact number is a string, call it CN, for instance. For instance, you can choose name for it. Then another string, major, M for major. As soon as I do that, remember where you're going to do that? You open it here, and what do we say? N? N is referred to the name here. Only say name equal N. Here it is. Right? It means whatever I receive, the N, that's referred to the name. The second one, the A here, A refers to the age. So I can say age equal A. Then the I is the ID. ID equal I. And so on. You go to the CN. CN, it means the contact number here. I can say contact number equal CN. Don't forget semicolons here. And the last one, major equal to M. Here it is. So that's my constructor here. Remember here, when I create object with data, I have to give the object, if I want to create object of type students, I have to give the students a name, the age, the gender, the ID, the contact number, and of course, what is the major for that? Students. Let's write another method, for instance. Say I would like to change the contact number for students. To contact the number. To change it, here it is. Remember, public. If you want to change, always, remember, always, your method or your function, as you probably call it, is a method, is always, remember, void. Always void. Right? And then the name, public. It means everybody can see it. Void, it does not return anything. Remember, when you want to change anything, you don't have, is always void. Say set, for instance, set, here it is, major. I'm gonna write a function to change the major, right? And say the major. Remember, the major is a string, so I have to send a data type of type string. Here is a string. And says MJ, anything, right? The name of it. Here it is. Then I can say, look at this, major equal MJ. Here it is. Just in case, probably, if you want, you can put this. you can put major here, right? You can put major. And of course, I can say major is equal major. However, there's a problem here. Problem here. Can you see it? There's a problem here. When the program looks at this and says, hold on a second, this major, is this major referred to this or referred to this? And this major, does it refer to this or to refer to this? To distinguish between them, all you do, of course, this one, it refers to where? To this one. All you do, put in front of it, with this dot, right? When you put this dot, it knows. Can you see it? It knows. When you say this, it means this major. You see? When so here, that means this major. That's why it's highlighted. And the major here, of course, this one. The same thing. The same thing. If you want, for instance, if you want this one, for instance, they would say this variable rather than age, I can make it age, right? Age. If the name age, can you see it? Of course, age is equal age here. So it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be problems. Which one which? Of course, the first one should be here. And that's why if it's the same, you can put this dot. You see it? It knows that when it has the name of it. The same name as the variable. Right? Now, that's done. Can you see it? Very simple. Very simple. This is class called students. The students is got a name, age, gender, ID, contact number, and of course, major. I created a default. Some people, they say, why do we use default constructor? Of course, default constructor, when you design a graphical user interface, always comes empty. That's why it's here, which we're going to see it in the course later on in advanced chapters, inshallah. Now, all I did here, I changed the major. Let me say, for instance, I would like to change the contact number, right? All I say, public. I'm changing. Remember, changing, it means void. Void, set, contact number. You can put any name, but I like using this name, it means changing. Remember, contact number is a string, so I'm using string, and I can say C. If I put C, let me take this over here. If I put C, here it is. I can say, I'm doing the contact number. I can say contact number equal C. Here it is. And of course, you need, in that case, assume you put this rather than C, you can put, if you put contact number, what would you do? Sorry, contact number here. Right? What would you do then in that case? What would you do here? Remember, you need to put this in the front of this one, and contact number is here. I'm going to leave it as C. Right? Here it is. You see it? So I can find no problem because it's different names. This is the class for students. Remember, these attributes by default in Java, they are public. If you want to make it private, you need to put the word private. And when you put a private, it means you have to create a method here to read it. Right? Something we're going to discuss it probably in the class, or I'm going to do another demo for you. For this moment in time, we're going to leave them as, you see, as public. So they are public. I can access them. So I create a default constructor. A constructor, I'm recapping. Constructor, same name as the class name. And of course, I'm using the same here. People ask, do I have to have them the same order? It depends. It's up to you. You can put them in any order, but remember that. But I put them as the order it is. So I will create the class called student. Students is go to constructors, and it's got a method. I can change the major of the students, and I can change the contact number of that students. Now I can go and create a class, another class to test it. Class, here it is. Let me call it test student. Remember, it's public. Because I'm testing, I'm going to create a void main one. So I can click on this, or I can type it. So if I do that, here it is. Can you see it? Of course, remove this line. This is just a stop. Yeah, don't need that. Here's main. Can put in here. Now I'm going to create object. The object. How do I create an object? The class name, which is student. Give it a name. Let me say S1 equal. It's always like this. New. It means create that one. I'm using to create an object. Use the constructor. So I'm using student. If I leave it empty, here it is. I'm creating object S1 as empty object. Let me create another object and it's got everything. So let's call it, for instance, S2 student S2, and this we're gonna give it data. A new the constructor student. If I give data, I have to give all the data. Remember, the order of the methods or the data here. The constructor takes the name, the age, the gender, the ID, the contact number, and of course the major. Right, name and age. Name and age, for instance, I'm going to put name is a string. Remember, this is a string, so you have to put it two quotes. For instance, here it is. I call Muhammad, and a full name. I can put the full name. Akram, for instance. Right? Now, this is the first variable. The second variable, you can check here. The second variable is age and is of type integer. Here it is. I can put name 23, for instance, as because it's integer. What's the third thing? You check in here. Gender for G and is char. So a single quote and say it's male. There you go. Alright? Comma. What's after gender? You check in here. Is ID. There it is. ID. So ID says an integer. 1, 2, something like that. I don't know how many in here. And then after that, after the ID, you've got CN, type of strings, which is the contact number. Here it is. It's a string, the contact number, of course, here. Plus 971 11223344, something like that. And of course, comma. The one after the contact number is the major. So another string. I can say information technology, and it is, right? And of course, all of that you need a colon here. Here it is. Done. So we've done all of these. When you look at this, you can see, right, just in case, this is not error. You can see, say the value of the local variable S2 is not being used as is. So just being created. Now S1 is empty. Let's, for student S1, let's give the students S1 a name. So I can say S1 dot, can you see it? And here I search for it, and here it is. You can do double click on it if you want. and I can put name, for instance. Let me see, for instance, I put Yasmin, there it is, and put some like, there it is, right? Yasmin Ati, and of course don't forget that. Right, we need to change, give an age to this object. S1, remember S1 is empty, here it is S1, and I put age, for instance, here it is, say is 80. Then say S1, then we can say in any order you want. Gender, for instance, remember this is, it is female, there you go. Then S1, what else do we need to do? Contact number, and here equal, because it's strength, plus 44191 420 and the rest, right? Something like that. Then what else we left with? S1 dot major, we didn't do it. Major as major. For instance, say web technology. Oh, they say computer, sorry, engineering. That is right. What else we left with? The ID is not being done. S1 dot ID, there it is, equal, and ID of course is an integer. I can say 2, 3, something like that. I don't know if that's, is that right? Number is here. There you go. Right. What else? That's the ID. So it's for, there are 2, 4, 6. If I look in here, there's 6. There's 6. There they are. Yeah, 6 of course. Now I've created 2 objects. One object is called S1, which refers to somebody is called Yasmin, and the second one S2 refers to somebody is called Muhammad Akram. So I have 2 students, one IT and one computer engineering. To print them, do this. System, this is long, I'm going to change it, I'm going to show you how to do it. System out, print ln, for instance, here it is. I can say S1 dot name, right? And here, hopefully, remember plus, it means and, I put a space if I want to, here it's a space, then do this and this here, there you go. Then plus, remember the plus here, and then I say, for instance, S1 age, right, plus space if I want to. Of course, you can do this over 2 lines if you want to, it's no problem. Java doesn't mind doing that. Plus S1 gender, right, gender. Then I can do this if I want to with, I'm sorry, this one, just close this one, come in here, okay, why this one's here, wow, what did I do? I'm sorry, yes, close this one, we don't need that. Right, finish, cancel it, I don't want that, I want this here. If I do here, plus, can you see it, plus, we've done the gender. Why this doesn't like gender? The word gender, right? It is S1 gender plus. It is, yeah, of course, yeah, gender. We can do this for the case. Gender plus, if I want to, S1 dot contact, there it is, number, plus space. Of course, we're going to need a space here to separate the two, plus space, there it is. And of course, there's a space here, contact number, and then a plus. What we have now, we've got the ID, the age, all right, female, computer, S1, and say major, there it is, major, all right, and close that. That wouldn't be a problem. You can put it over 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. As far as at the end, you put this. Of course, what we forgot to put, that's a gender, contact number, name, and need the ID. Then put the ID here, plus, then put a space first, and then plus S1, put ID, here it is. And of course, space, here it is. You can put this, if you look at this, I can put this like that if I want to. That wouldn't be any problems. Look at it. I can put them like that if I want to. Here it is. If you look at this, this has taken actually so long to put this in. Now, let me do, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do for the second one as well. So I just cover this and cover this. I'm sorry, what happens there? Command Z, there it is. Sorry, but that's right. I thought I was using Windows. Here it is. And of course, this here. And here we go. Only change, just change between S1 to the second one is S2. So I put S2, there it is. This is S2. And S2. S2. And of course S2 again here. And S2. Right? Now, let's run the program in here and say, there we go. So I'm putting S1 and then putting S2, of course, say OK. And here they are. Look, S1, which is Jasmine's, that's her ID, 18 years, female, contact number, and that is the major. And this is Muhammad Akram, ID, how old? I forgot what, where is the, should be a male, where is it? We missed it somewhere. All right, it's here. Where is it? The gender, where's the gender? S2 gender. So we've got 23, is there a contact number? Before the contact number, of course, 23. There's missing here, gender is S2. Gender, of course, is, let me see, space here. Let me see. S2 name, that's the ID, age 23, and that's the number. Why is a space here? And this, of course, the gender is, it is, should be male. That's why the space is there. All right, let's run it again and see what's the problems here. Right, that's Muhammad Akram. It is 23 plus blah 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 blah. That's the number. Where is the number here? It is. I'll give it space. Let me see. Plus ID plus age plus space S2 gender. As gender should be here. As gender. Hold on. Let me see. Third one is gender. So should be 1, 2, and 3. So it's G, gender. There it is. Let me see why this is causing. All you do, I can change the gender again if I want to. S2 dot gender. There it is. Equal male. See why this is not working. I'll check it out. But we'll change the major here. Run it. There it is. So the male is here. Male is here. Let's see. Causing this, I'm going to remove this from here. I want to see what's causing that. The cause probably is here somewhere. If you look at this char G, where's G? That's the gender. This is not here. That's what it is. It's not here. The gender is missed from the constructor. So I can say gender equal G. That's what happens. We missed one of them. Now, if I run it, there you go. And it is. It's working. Now it's working because we missed that in the constructor. We didn't add that one to it. One last thing I would like to show you is writing this system out println and doing all this. It'll be too much. It'll be very nice to put this, for instance, system out println, and all I do is one. Right? It'd be very nice doing this, just this, and should print this for me. All you do in order to do this, and of course I can do system out print ln. If I want to print S2, I can say S2. It'd be very nice to do this. How can I do that? I'll show you how to do that. You go to the class. Of course, there's something in here. If I say this, for instance, look at that. Dot, and I say to. Can you see that? There's a method called toString. Remember, you studied in object-oriented and structure programming. Two functions have the same name, call them overriding functions. So I can override that. How can I do that? Very simple way. Very simple. All I can do, copy this, any one of these, copy this one, here it is. I'm just going to copy it, copy. I'm going to come here, and I'm going to create, remember, you create this function now. Look at this. Public. This, it returned string, here it is. String to string. I'm overriding the toString functions. Here it is. Nothing. Doesn't take anything. Right? And all I do, in the write statements, the system out println, all I'm going to do first, let me cover this. Remove the object. Do you see that? Remove the object. Keep it as it is. The ID. Right? I can put them if I want in one line. And here, you can put this in one line. Here it is. Gender, contact number. Right? I'm going to move the S because you don't want S's in the class. No object names, only attributes. Use the attributes here. See that? Here. Gender, contact number, and of course, major. You don't need this here, but of course you need a semicolon. You put that, and then all you do, remember, this is string. Can you see it? String there, the name string here. So I have to say return. Return. Here it is. I said return. That's it. Return this for me. This would help us to print that in here. If you look at this test, I don't need this anymore now. This is not required anymore from me. I can remove that. Here it is. And I'm printing this. If I say print ln S1, S2. Let's run this now. Here it is. You see it? All I say print, when I print here, it goes to the toString function here. So it's going to print the name. Here it is. The ID, the age, the gender, contact number, and of course, the major. One last thing, if I want to change somebody's major, remember, here it is, set major. If I want to change the major of somebody, for instance, change the major for Yasmin or for S2. So S2 or S1, say S1, here it is. Set, can you see it? Set major. This one, Saint Major, here it is. Saint Major, remember, what does it need? Saint Major, here it is. It needs a string. So all I'm going to string, of course, the major. All I'm going to do, here it is, and say she moved to information technology. There it is. Or she went to, say information. Or electrical engineering. Here it is. Electrical engineering. All right? There it is. That's done. And all I'm going to do now, let's print in here. Let me print this again. And here. Again. I'm going to do this. Do this here. And I'm going to change the contact numbers for the second object. S2. Look at the contact number. I can say set. Here it is. Contact number. I can do it here if I want to. And the contact number is going to be, tells it needs a string. So here's a string. Plus 971. Or I can put, if you want to, put 00971 123 4411. There it is. Done. Right? And here, of course, this needs, here you go. Right? And I'm going to print there. So I'm changing the number here for the second one, and I'm changing the major for the first one. Run it. And here. And I don't need to worry now. Remember, I don't need to worry now. All I'm printing S1, S2. It goes where? To here to print this for me. This is the beauty about Java. Print this. Say OK. And here you go. Right? Let me put some spaces between them so that can be seen. Right? I can say system out print ln. Remember, just like in C++, here it is. \n. You can do that if you want to. Right? Here it is. So that's going to give me more space. I don't want that many spaces because print ln give me 1 and the n \n give me 1 as well. So that's 2 spaces. I can do that and I can run this. Here it is. Yasmin Ati, here it is. All I changed her major. See that? She's computer engineering and she changed to electrical engineering. And Muhammad Akram, the S2, what I did here, I've changed the contact number. Can you see it? The contact number has changed from this to this. Right? This concludes this part when everything is public and so on and using classes and objects. I hope you understand the classes and objects, and I'm going to do more demonstrations for you to understand actually the programming in Java. I hope you're enjoying that, and I would like you to have a look at this, and would like you as well to take a class and define the attributes for it, and the functions, the constructors and so on, and create object of that class, right, to practice. And you can show me that in next class. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed that.